Here are some sample answers to the March Level 1 speaking tasks. And the first task was reporting an accident. You were at your local gym when one of the gym users had a serious accident. You have filled in a form, but you need to describe what happened before the accident and what you did afterwards. I was using the cross trainer opposite the weights area when I saw two young men who were fooling around with the weights. One of the men was showing off with some dumbbells and was pretending to throw a very heavy weight to his friend. The weight slipped out of his hand and hit his friend on the knee. I immediately went to find a member of the gym staff and she called for a first aider. She also contacted the ambulance. The young man was taken to hospital in the ambulance. Notice this one is quite short, shorter than I told you to do, but we don't want to waste too much time with the first task. Anytime that you're reporting an accident or an incident and you need to check, were you involved in it or were you just a witness? In this case, you're a witness. Somebody else had the accident. Notice also the grammar. In the first part, I'm using what was happening because this is a longer action that had already started and was still happening, still taking place at the time of the accident. So this is past continuous. I was using, they were fooling around, he was showing off, he was pretending. Okay, and then suddenly we have the weight slipped out of his hand and hit his friend on the knee. Past simple, because these are short actions that interrupted the long ones. And then everything else happens in sequence. I went, she called, she contacted, he was taken. Okay, so keep it simple, don't make any mistakes, and don't try to spell something that you don't know how to spell. If you don't know how to spell dumbbells, then write something different. Okay, let's go on to part 2. And task 2 in this case is a formal letter. Your local hospital is going to be closed. All services will be moved to the next nearest town or city. You don't agree with this plan, so you write to your local MP to complain and to say why it isn't a good idea to close the hospital. So we're going to start a letter with your home address. Of course, I've made one up. I don't live at 123 Happy Street, and the postcode belongs to the college. That is our MP, Mohammed Yassin, if you live in Bedford. But again, put an address of the person you're writing to, and then we're going to begin. Dear Mr. Yassin, I am writing to complain about the plan to close Bedford Hospital. Always a good idea to begin with I am writing to and the reason why you're writing. Okay. All hospitals are important, but this one is absolutely vital to the people of Bedfordshire. I have been living in Bedford for 5 years and I know how difficult life would be if the government closed our local hospital. Let's look at that paragraph again. We've used absolutely vital. Vital is an extreme adjective, so we must use the adverb absolutely in front of it. And vital means very, very, very important or necessary, we can say. So we're using a normal gradable adjective like important and following it with an extreme adjective, vital. Okay. We've also got a present perfect continuous. I have been living in Bedford. Everybody in the group can do that. And we've also got an if sentence. We've got the second conditional. Yeah. If you did this, I would do that. And it says how difficult life would be if the government closed our local hospital, but we're talking about the future, and the form is the past. To give you some examples, my youngest child was born in Bedford Hospital and the staff were excellent. If I had needed to travel to Luton or Milton Keynes, I could have given birth in a car on the A6 or the A452 because the traffic is always so bad. That is a past, an unreal situation in the past. It didn't happen, and now it can't happen anymore. It's what we call the third conditional, and it's got, if I had done something, you would have done this. Okay? In this case, I could have.